chapter, we will talk about arrays, which is similar to lists in Python. So let's start a new project and call it arrays. And then we create a new class. We call it array. Maybe array is booked, so array is, let's say, 1. And then we have this class. We can write the main method as usual, and then we can start writing programs here. So now in Java, before, if you want to define variables, you write int x and you give it value 5, right? So here you create a variable x, you store the value 5, okay? We store only one value on this variable, right? So in array, it's similar to variable, but you can store not only one value, you can store multiple values. Let's see how to define array in Java. Again, you write int, because this array, it needs to store many values of type int. I have to give it a name, y, x, y, z, any name. But you need to put these brackets. These brackets are for arrays, okay? And then you can write, and then we do some brackets here, and we don't put one value, we can put many values in this array. So I can put 3, 6, 8, 10. All these values has to be integer, because this is of type integer, right? If you try to make like 10.5, you get error, because this is not integer. So I know in Python you can make a list of different types. In Java, all the list has to be from the same type. Yeah, you cannot make array of different type. All the values have to be from the same type. So this is how we can define array in Java. So again, what is array? It's a variable y, but it's not containing only one value. It's containing many values. How can I access these values? Like, if you try to print, you cannot print just y. If you print y, you get something weird. Let's run the code. You get like the address of y. This is not what we want. We want the values inside y. So how to print these values? Actually, you need to choose a value to print. So these values, each of them has index. Okay, so this is like y0, this is y1, y2, y3, y4. So the indices start from 0. The address of the elements in the array start from 0. So if I want to print the first element, I will write y of 0. If you print this, then you get 3. Okay? So if you print the last one, what you write? 4, because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you make 4, you get 12. If you make 5, you get error. Exactly, you get runtime error. It's a out of bounds exception. Also, you cannot make something like -1, like in Python, you can make -1, right? It's not allowed here. So here the indices has to start from 0 till the size of the array -1. If the array is 10 elements, the indices start from 0 till 9, right? Okay. If I make y2, what will be printed? 8. Very good. So I can access the indices using the index. I can access the elements of the array using the index. I can also change these values. Like I can say, for example, y of 3 should equal, let's say, y of 2 plus 1. What will this statement do? It will change 10 to 9. Because here I'm saying y2 is 8, plus 1, it will be 9. This 9, I will store it in y3. So y3 will be 9. Yeah? I can also say like directly y3 should be 6. In this case, I'm changing this value to 6. So if you print later y3, it will be 6 because it was initially 10, but I changed it to 6. Okay? So this is the array. If you want to print all the values of the array, what we will do? We cannot just print it, unfortunately, like y. We tried this before, doesn't work. Yeah, we need to make a loop to print all the elements. We have to print one element by one by one elements. Okay? So how to write loop? The best loop that we use with arrays is for loop. So we write for and I equals 0, I less than how much? We start from 0 till less than 5, till 4. We can make less than 5, I plus plus. And then inside this loop, what we do? We print what? Can you tell me what should I print? Y of I, exactly. So y index I. And this I is changing from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Yeah? So with this, I will print each elements in one line. So you see these elements of the array, I print each one in one line. Okay? Clear? Okay. If you try and make mistakes, 6, what you will get? You will get error after sometimes because you are trying to print something outside the range. So usually instead of making mistakes, Java allows you to write something like y.length. If you write y.length, so y.length is the size of the array, which is 5, sorry. In this case, 5. So you can write int I equals 0, I less than y.length, I plus plus. So this is, you see this? This is kind of standard array for access all elements in the standard loop to access all elements in the array.
Can we let Python write the y.length in brackets -1?
Yes, we can. You mean something like this? Y of length -1, something like this, or you are talking about the loop?
Say like I is less than or equal to the y.length -1.
We don't need, yeah, you can make less than or equal length -1, something like this. Yes, you can also do this. This works. Similar things, but easier to write just less than length. Okay? Both are correct. Same thing. Okay, so this is how to print the array. Now, if you want to do some operation, let's say I want to sum all the elements on this array. I don't want to print the array. I want to sum all the elements in the array. What should I do? Same loop, but before I define int sum equals 0, and then here instead of printing the elements, I just say sum plus equal, I should call it sum, plus equal what? Y of I. So every time I add y of I to the sum. So the first loop, I'm adding the first element to the sum, second element to the sum, and so on. And at the end, I can print system.out.println sum. So now this will add all the elements of the array and make sure to print the sum of them, which is 39. Clear? Last thing I want to explain about this, we can also have methods. Last chapter we talked about method. Can we have methods with arrays? Like, yes, you can make, so this is the end of the main method. You see, this is the end of the main method. I want to create another method. Let me call it public static. You remember how to make methods in Java? Let me make a method. I give this method array as input. It gives me the sum as output. So the output will be sum. Sum is what type? integer. So I will write int. It's not void, it's returning integer value. I will call it sum, the method sum, maybe some array, something like this. And then what happens? And then some array, and then you write it takes array of integer as input. Let's say take array A as input. And then, so in this method, if someone gives you array of A, you need to compute the sum. How to compute the sum? Something similar to this code. Okay, I will just cut this code and put it inside here. So I define sum equals 0, int I equals 0, I less than y dot length, or it should be a dot length because the name of the array here is A. And same things here is A. Here I don't want to print the sum. What should I do with the sum? Return sum, right? Because we said if the method is returning a value, we should use return, right? So return sum. So this method accepts array as input, and it's returning the sum of the value of all the arrays. So now, if you have array y, you just can say system.out.print. I want to print, for example, sum of y. Yeah, some array of y. Okay? So this will sum all the arrays of y and bring it back to me. What it's back to me, I will print it. It will be, I think, 39 again. So this shows you that we can make actually methods that accept array as input. And we can call this method by giving this method as an array. Clear? Any question about this? Okay, if not,